Hi everyone, my name is Tori, this is Novel Life, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my June TBR video, where I'm going to chat about the books that I want to read in June. I have a wide range of books, from contemporary to fantasy, to dark romance, to historical fiction. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in. I will have at the end of the video where I talk about some new releases coming out, so this is kind of like TBR and then talking about some new releases that I'm excited about. It is in no way a complete list of all the books coming out in June that I'm excited for. I did want to mention some of the new releases that I want to read, but not necessarily put on my hard TBR just in case if I don't get to them. Now, I have been in a huge mood reading mood? Does that make sense? Anyway, I had just been wanting to read what I want. So I cut down my TBR to books I want to read for reading vlogs and stuff for my Patreon, book club picks, and just some other books that my library has the audiobooks coming up on hold. Like, it's less than 4 weeks. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get them in June. Words are hard today. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I always start with the first two books that my patrons pick. I always do an exclusive reading vlog over on my Patreon every single month, but I usually give them 5 books to choose from the previous month. So in May, I gave them 5 books to choose from, and the top 2 most voted on books gets put into a reading vlog. That's how I do it, because reading 1 is kind of boring, but reading 2 is like just enough that if I hate one, one can still be redeemed, you know? Now, I'm actually really excited for both of these books. The first one is an ARC that I have, and that is A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I go into Ashley Poston's, or Poston, however the hell you say her name. I go into her books completely blind. I very rarely look up any of the synopsis. I have her 2 books right here, as you can see on my shelf. I want to add this one to my collection. I'm very excited because I just like the way that she writes romance. I like the way her writing is. It really works for me, and I don't know, it's just, I like what she does with her stuff, and I'm a fan of her. So I'm very excited for that one. Like I said, I do have an ARC. It comes out, I think, at the end of June. June 25th, I think, is the release date. I'll definitely be reading my e-ARC before then, but that is one I do want to read. The next one that I picked was actually surprising to me. I gave a Scarlett St. Clair book, the next one and the last one I have to read in her series, and like the Touch of Darkness series. And then I gave a couple contemporary, but then I gave To Ravish a Rogue by C.M. Noscosta, I think that's how you say her name. I'm actually really excited because it looks like a clinch cover, but it also is like on a ship or something, so I don't know if it's more of a historical setting. Now, the only other book that I've read from this author is Morning Glory Milking Farm, and that was interesting. It was just interesting, okay? I don't have anything else other than to say it was very interesting. So I don't know where I'm going to land with this one, but I'm going to give it a try. The audiobook is on Hoopla, which I like to get audiobooks for a lot of the books I read, just because audiobooks are primarily how I read now. Or if I do have a physical book, I like the audiobook to read along with it. So I'm very excited for those 2. Like I said, that will be in a reading vlog exclusively on my Patreon. I always have a 7-day free trial, so you can try it out for a week, see if you like what I post there. I try to post something at least every single day. But yeah, it's always in my description box if you want to join over there. And the next one I'm actually very excited for. I'm very nervous, but I'm so excited. You guys know white shoes is not my thing. I have liked 3 books that have white shoes in it. 3. Emily Rath book, which I really like that one. It's very long though. And then I like Tessa Hale's series, the newest one, The Dragons of Ember Hollows. I think that's what it's called. Now, I picked this up at a Polycon, and yes, I did talk to the author. That is A Den of Vipers. Why I decided to actually buy this paperback is, I don't know, but she wrote a whole letter type thing to me, was like, have fun. I literally looked at her and I said, I don't know anything about this book other than there's a gun handle scene or a knife scene. She said, yep, that's in here. I love dark romance, and I haven't read a dark romance in a really long time. And I'm just going in with the assumption that this is just going to be unhinged, over the top, and wild. That's all I have. There's 4 guys, Ryder, Garrett, Kenzo, and Diesel. We're gonna give it a try. Oh, Roxy, I think is her name. Yeah, Roxy. So we're gonna give it a try. This is, yes, another hyped book that I have not read, but when I did that video, I was like, ooh, maybe I should do a reading vlog, and everyone said yes. Now, I wish this was a matte, because it makes hard like taking photos. I wish this was a matte cover, but it's not. Anyway, very excited. This is going to be in a reading vlog sometime in June. That's my plan. It's a dedicated reading vlog, and I'm going to have a very fun time with that, hopefully. Now, the next one, I want your opinion. Should I do a reading vlog for this book, When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker? So in May, I've read To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker, and I understood why her writing is so flowery. Now, I did try When the Moon Hatched back in, when it first came out, February, March. I tried to physically read the book, and the writing was so over the top and so descriptive that it was very hard for me to like stay focused and kind of just stick with the writing. And I do know this is one of those books where it's either you completely love it or you hate it. So when I first tried to physically read it, I DNF'd about like 20%. I was like, I don't know where the fuck this book is going. Not really for me, okay? But there's a lot of my friends that love this book, who love fantasy romance and really ride or die for this book. And I'm like, I want to be that girly. I want to ride or die for this book. So the audiobook is coming in within the next 4 weeks. I want to physically read along and listen to the audiobook because now the audiobook is out. So if you'd like to see a reading vlog of me reading When the Moon Hatched, please let me know in the comments. That will very much determine. I'll actually put a community poll up sometime in June, so make sure you check out that too. But if you would like to see me read this in a dedicated reading vlog, please let me know, because that's a long book. Same thing with Den of Vipers. Super long books, I do a dedicated reading vlog because it's hard to like pile in multiple books. Anyway, I'm very talkative today. Now, the next one is because I'm a ride or die for this author, and that is Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. I love Lauren Asher. I love this cover. It is completely pink, okay? And I have been seeing all these teasers that she's been posting, and I want to read this book. I really enjoyed the first book, Love Redesigned. I really enjoyed that book. It was a solid 4-star. Now, I'm a fan of Lauren Asher. I've read everything that she's ever published, so I definitely want to continue on with this. This book actually comes out June 18th. It's a new release, so when this is released, I do want to pick up the audiobook. I'll use a credit for it, and definitely read that. Now, the next couple of books I have are just some physical books that I have sitting around that I want to get to, and the audiobooks are going to come in. Now, the first one that, I forgot, a Patreon exclusive one. So I have a historical fiction book club over on my Patreon. Yes, it's just called Historical Fiction Book Club because I'm very unoriginal. But every 2 months, we read a historical fiction book because I know not everyone loves to read historical fiction, but we are trying out different authors, and we're also trying out like authors that I love that I want to read some of their new releases. And Chanel Clayton is an author that I absolutely adore. She writes a lot of Latinx. I think she writes a lot of like Caribbean. I think it's either Cuban. I think she's like Cuban or Puerto Rican descent, so she writes a lot about like historical fiction books from those two countries. So I'm very excited to read her new book, The House on Biscayne Bay. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what timepiece it takes place during, but I have the audiobook coming from my library in less than 4 weeks, so I will have an exclusive live show for this book over on my Patreon. So if you're into historical fiction and you want to join me over on my Patreon and read along and chat, like I said, you can join my Patreon down below, which I'm very excited for because I've been loving a lot of historical fiction. Almost every single historical fiction book I picked up this year has been really good, so that's a good thing. Now, the last 4 books are just hopefuls. These are hopefuls that I really want to get to. The first one is The Dixon Rule. I received this from Bloom in the mail, and it comes with this cute little art print, which is very cool. I'm very excited to read this. I want the audiobook. The Hoopla has the audiobook for this. Now, my friend Jess read this in like a day. She read this like during a 24-hour reading vlog. She loved this. Now, I really like The Graham Effect, but I have a feeling this could be like an amazing book for me. So I'm very excited to dive into this one. If you've read this book, please let me know what you thought of it comparatively to The Graham Effect. I think I gave The Graham Effect like 4.5 stars when I read it. I also really like the color. It's very summery. A lot of these books have very bright colors. Sorry. The next one is Blood on the Tide by Katie Roberts. So I actually received this from the publisher, from Berkeley, and I haven't read a Katie Roberts book and I can't tell you how long, but this is relatively short. My audio, it's 300 pages. My audiobook is coming in soon, within 4 weeks, so I want to pick this up. It is a sapphic romance. I think one is a witch and one is a vampire, one is a mermaid. So it's giving me like fantasy vibes without a 500-page fantasy romance. You know what I mean? Like more paranormal-esque. So very excited for this one. I also love how like sparkly the cover is. I don't know. It's giving summer vibe. It says that they can't fight the waves of desire. I actually really like that. So Very excited to read this one, so thank you to Berkeley for sending that over to me. The last two books I have to talk about are both from Book of the Month. The first one is Christina Lauren's The Paradise Problem. Now, I do know that my audiobook is coming in within 4 weeks, but I might take this to Hawaii with me when I go in July. So I want to kind of like be very particular about the books that I'm bringing with me on vacation. One, because I won't have that long, but I'm going to be there for 7 days, and we have very, very, very long flights to Hawaii. So this seems like a summery book. If you've read this book, you can let me know if it's more summery, beachy. I do want to bring Emily Henry's People We Meet on Vacation and Beach Read. Those two I definitely want to read. So you can let me know. I might save this for July, but it's a mentioned one I want to mention just really quickly. The last one is more like fantasy-esque, gothic what does this say? Gothic novel about sisterhood, seances, and sapphic love, and it takes place in Paris 1866. So it's these two sisters, and it's called Spitting Gold by Carmela Lowkins. I saw this and I was like immediately interested. Historical time, witches, seances, sisters, and it's sapphic. Literally, what? Oh, that sounds so good to me. I didn't even read anything else, but I'm very excited. This seems like a shorter read. I'll definitely listen to the audiobook because my audio is coming in within 4 weeks. How long is this book? Less than 300 pages, so very excited. Those are all the books that like I do hope to read. Now I do have a couple of new releases I want to mention that I do hope to get to, but they're tentative, okay? First one is Forbidden King by Laura Pavlov. I really like this series. Loved the first book, Loving Romeo. The second book, which was Wild River, I think. Yeah, Wild River. It was okay, not my favorite, but I have high hopes for this one. This is one of the construction company owners. I think this is the one that it's a single dad, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I just want to read this series because I really like this by Laura. The next one is Leather and Lark by Bren Weaver. I think that's Brian Weaver? I don't know. I loved Butcher and Blackbird. That was one of my favorite books of last year, and I love the other two brothers that she introduced in that book, and I really want to read this one. This comes out June 4th. I put the audiobook on hold at my library because I really want to listen to it, but I will definitely be getting a physical copy if I like it. I'm trying to be a little bit more particular about books that I get. I only want to have like books on my shelves that I really, really love, so I'm trying to wait till I read books to see if I'm going to like it before I get them. You know what I mean? So that one comes out June 4th, even though I've been seeing people already getting it from like pre-orders, which is not cool, but it is what it is, I guess. Like I said, Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher comes out on June 18th. A novel love story by Ashley Poston on June 25th. And then two more books that I have written down come out June 4th. All My Kisses for You by Monica Murphy. So Monica Murphy wrote A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. Loved that book. I absolutely adored. I don't know what it was. It's a contemporary romance, but I loved it so much. I love the way she wrote that book. And I think this book is a second generation, but I think it's one of their kids from that book. Now, I have read some of the other books in that series, and they have not been my favorite. Like, one was a 2-star, one was a like 3.5, and then one was, I think, a 4-star. So this will be like legit my last chance to see if Monica Murphy's still for me. Like, I read that so long ago that maybe I've just kind of like outgrown her style of writing, which happens, but I do want to get to that one at some point. And then Callie Hart, who wrote Requiem, which I really enjoyed that book, has a fantasy coming out in June. It's called Quicksilver. Don't know anything about it. Jess told me about it, and I was like, oh, I really like Callie Hart. I'm putting this on my new releases page in my reading journal. So you can let me know all of the books you are excited to read in June. For the emoji, drop me a rose or a skull emoji because I'm looking at the Den of Vipers, and I think I'm most excited for like this book to read just because I've seen like so much hype. So yeah, drop me a rose, a red rose, or a skull emoji in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!